Shit, what were you
Yo,
talking
just
about?
for the record, I keep a stocked fucking candy bowl literally at any place that I frequent. Not even like
That's a fact.
everywhere I lit, like literally any place that I spend like time regularly, there's a stocked fucking candy bowl.
I was coming back down the stairs from the bathroom and I was like, oh shit, he definitely has a candy. I was like, where's that candy bowl? Like, here, do you want some of these?
Of course, always on the main table. Oh yeah, I'll take one.
Take
See,
two.
that's
We'll split them.
That's the best part. No, I'm good. I'm good with one. That's the best
You
part.
just have one. Who the fuck has one Reese's? Are you serious right now? Take
Bro, do not even test my fucking excessive behavior and addictive tendencies right now.
Oh, by the way, in the Brilliant Idiots episode I used to listen to, their podcast, they were eating in the fucking microphone. Bro, it like drove me nuts. Like I heard it and I was like, oh, I was listening to it in my headphones. It fucking freaked me out. I vowed not to do that, but I lied. But now what were we talking about? Now that will edit out our fucking 10-minute intermission.
For sure. We were getting to race where it's kind of where money's not the motivation anymore. And talking about like the Chi-Town drill rap.
Right. Here's my my 88 cents on that. With like what you said, was not about money anymore. When I woke up to news that Chinx Drugs was killed, the rapper Chinx, in his own city, Southside. I woke up and I saw it and I'm like, you know, they shot up his Porsche. They didn't say anything about a robbery. They didn't say anything about, I don't know, whatever motive. Obviously, they don't fucking catch guys who kill rappers for some reason. So if you don't want to die, become a rapper. I mean, if you want to, how do I say this? I said that backwards. If you want to kill somebody and get away with it, kill a rapper. But just don't kill a rapper because I said that. Don't do that. That's crazy. But in all seriousness, I noticed a trend. I'm like, you know, when murders and hits and shit used to happen, it'd be for the money, it'd be for a reason. Like now, even the killings are senseless. Like even that shit doesn't have a basis.
Yeah.
So with old structures and like we talked about with the Gottis and the mob or whatever, they had structure. You know what I mean? The Asian gangs, they have structure.
What is it? The Yakuza. And
Right,
just for the
whatever the fuck
record,
they are.
let's, you know, everyone knows the mob doesn't exist, but if they did, it'd be a bunch of nice guys.
No, seriously. So, with this new age gang shit, I don't want to say new age because it started something about the hip hop culture and the hip hop community. I think everybody wants to be a fucking boss so bad that they can't. And when I say boss, I mean, you know what I mean by boss, not actual boss. It's just that title. So I think they have a problem with authority and structure. You know what I mean? And you see shit like, you know, Scarface is influential. He killed the guy that he was working for. He took his wife. He took his house and all that other shit. And I'm like, Scarface was really like...
Did anybody see the end of that movie?
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Like
I'm trying to be
where does
Sosa.
That shit, like where does that shit get you? Like why do you?
Sosa?
There you go. Exactly. Like where does that get you? And I think it spiraled out of control. You know what I mean? When Dame Dash went on the fucking Breakfast Club interview and he started talking about I'm my own boss and Harlem niggas don't work for anybody else and all that other shit. I'm like, hold on, bro. Like, backtrack a little. Let kids know it's okay. Like, when you say that shit and when all your analogies go back to selling drugs, that they think that's what the answer is. So I think the lines and the structure of actual positive progression is getting fucked up. And that's where a lot of that shit comes from. You know, you think I have a gun, I have whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm making $350 a day selling coke. I'm a boss. And I'm like, nah, not really if you want the truth, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of that shit comes from, I don't know, just misdirection from the older guys. And you know, in the early, I won't say hip hop, but like my life, I've always had. I pretty much always made my own decisions to a certain extent, but I had someone I could go to and ask a question. Whether I was going to go and ask whatever it was, probably not, but I had someone I can go to. I feel like now with social media and some shit, you're so far removed from reality that everyone's doing their own thing, and that's where also that shit comes into play.
It's almost like everyone's not doing their own thing. It's like everybody's on some type of fucking bandwagon, you know?
Right.
I definitely feel you as far as like, what the fuck was I just gonna say? I totally spaced out. Sorry.
Bandwagon. You said everyone's on a bandwagon. It happens. See, that's why I said don't do drugs, kids. No,
jeez.
But
fucking A. No, what was it before that?
I said that everyone's doing their own thing, and we lost the structure. We lost.
Oh right. No, I look. I agree with you in that sense that like it's good to have some structure for kids. And it's obviously important for the youth to be educated. I understand that, especially in inner cities, the role of drug dealer and pimp are like especially hyper glorified.
Sure.
But granted, like a lot of these people, okay, like don't take this out of context, but like,
who, me or the
no,
listeners?
Yeah, listeners. I don't have to worry about you. I say what the fuck ever. But okay, so like, Pablo Escobar, terrorist, sure. Like, did he fucking kill a lot of innocent people? Yes.
Absolutely.
Did he do a fuck ton of good for the inner city
Of Colombia?
Yeah. Of Medellin, of course, it goes without saying.
You don't have to watch Narcos to know that. I mean, if you know anything about him,
right?
Of course. And
so that's like a lot of these people, to revisit the whole Gotti thing, which I don't even like to talk because it's so like it's just like the ultimate like showboaty, most stereotype fucking like whatever. But again, like fucking street fairs and they ran the San Gennaro Festival at that time, sure. and just the safest, most clean neighborhoods you could ever fucking imagine. So those people are glorified for a reason because they, in a lot of ways they're kind of the Robin Hood. There's cops that either one don't go into the inner cities or only do to to pick apart within and the second part of that is, as far as drug trafficking goes,
that escalated quickly.
No, well, because that's what we're talking about. And we were talking about earlier how, like, nobody with a real conscience, no real good person can be a cop that abides by the law. And especially as far as like as far as drug trafficking goes, it's like these are, let's be realistic, these are commodity brokers, okay? Like it's simple supply and demand. If it was legalized and regulated, there'd be zero violence involved with it.
You think so? I know so. I wondered that.
I know so. Look at all the violence involved with prohibition, with alcohol. An unbelievable amount.
That's a valid point, most certainly. That's a valid point. I say that because what we were just talking about, like with the money. I think that's where it got fucked up when when it started becoming about the reputation, and when it started becoming about the, doing these things for yourself. Like, because, the old fucking drug dealers used to buy turkeys for the neighborhood, used to come and buy ice cream for the kids, and those days of your influences being pimps and hustlers, those days are removed from us. But like these young kids, I think they skip over our generation and go, not our generation, we're all the same, but you know what I mean? Like our age bracket, and go to that and don't know why. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, the dangerous part is they do and they don't, because what happened is like, okay, for us, we understand the street culture because we were exposed to it, and not only because we exposed ourselves to it. Like, I'm not going to disclose more than that, but like, so we understand.
Allegedly.
Thank you. But we understand now. What bothers me is that credibility isn't even a factor anymore. Nobody is even like, you know what didn't catch on? That whole bandwagon of, hey, the real Rick Ross is not a rapper. Nobody
he follows
even
me on Twitter, by the way.
No, fuck out of here.
I'm serious.
Yo, he's the man. But like,
I want to get him in here. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm saying though, like, if you say that to somebody, to like your average fucking Rick Ross fan, if you say that to the average person at a Rick Ross concert, they're gonna be like, "What do you mean the real Rick Ross?"
That's what I was gonna say.
This is the real Rick Ross. That's what I'm saying. And there's also a rapper named Freeway.
Right. That's
separate and apart from.
Like, we know. You know what I mean? We know these things. We've studied the game. A quick sidebar also. I watched like 3 minutes of a Fetty Wap interview. He said he never listened to Nas. He never listened to Nas music. And I'm like, see, that right there is where the game started to fuck up. When you don't know the history.
Never listened to Nas?
I don't make this shit up. He didn't listen to, he said he heard him before, but he never listened to him. His influence was Gucci Mane. And I'm like, what? No, I don't make this shit up.
Is this for real?
But that's where I was going with it, that they don't know. They don't do the history. They don't do when you go into a job and they tell you that you need 5 years experience, 7 years experience, the same rules should apply on all planes. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to become a rapper, you have
to have apprenticeship.
You should, because these fucking guys don't know. You see Rick Ross and you don't, you think his name is Rick, like his name is fucking Robert Williams.
That's not the part. See, okay, so like, there's people that take on the names of like, of other gangsters, like, okay, 50 Cent, for example.
Right.
He's not the original 50 Cent.
The guy from Brooklyn.
Right. That's Curtis Jackson.
Right.
He took that name from an already made fucking gangster. But I'm not going to say he doesn't have some legitimate street credibility. Although, look, man, for the record, the ghetto Quran made you a snitch. But, like...
Oh, my goodness.
But... Real talk. Let's be real.
Can we go into that?
What else is there to say? Like, I'm not gonna like name names like he did.
Ooh,
he went into the whole Supreme team,
Shots
Kenneth
fired.
Supreme,
Okay.
whatever.
I can't argue that. You're right. I don't have a case there, because I listened to it and I didn't understand it at the time. And then when I got a little bit older, I listened to it again and I was like, oh, well, that's a lot of information.
This is an affidavit.
I'm like, does this work? Can they use this? I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'll give you that.
But needless to say, it's like there's some street credibility there. Now Rick Ross, no disrespect to the guy, because from what I hear, he has a fantastic wing chain. But he was a corrections officer.
Hold on. Now, see, this is why I wanted to do this with you. I fuck with Rick Ross. Like, I want to get into your top 5. I'm telling you,
bro, his swag. I fuck. Like, I get it. I'm not gonna say, oh, I don't get it. Like, he's not appealing. Like, I get why he's appealing, but I'm just saying nobody takes into consideration. Like, Nah, wait, this motherfucker was a corrections officer. Fuck him.
I don't know the entire story from it. But can't you be an inside man as a correction officer? Like, can't you be the guy getting it in on the, and I'm not saying he did this. I don't like I said, I don't know this, and wasn't not one of my allegedly moments. Like, I literally don't know. Can't you be the inside man on like if being a dirty cop? So
sure,
couldn't he have that angle? I don't. And I listened. What is he? 9 albums in. I think I've listened to like 8. Like I never went back to Trilla, Port of Miami. I mean,
like he could have that angle. Except like I've heard his music. Like he wasn't no inside guy. You know what I mean? Like.
Maybe he doesn't. You don't think he just doesn't want to snitch on himself?
First home invasion, Poppy gave 100 bricks. Nah, bro.
Didn't happen. Okay.
Nah, bro. Stop that. Stop.
Okay. There's something to that. But maybe he just has a lot to get off his chest at once, and he just says it like Nas. Nas gives you great details. Like Nas really breaks shit down.
He breaks it down metaphorically. He never incriminates anybody, including himself.
Or Hove. When he talks about 560 State Street. Like that was his
right. So nothing like it. It's like it gives you as much as it can without being incriminating. So when somebody's like, "Yeah, my first home invasion, Poppy gave 100 bricks," MJ, bitch, I'm moving 8 balls. Like.
Okay.
Listen,
that
man.
That says all he needs to say. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like,
and I
look, dude, you're a big dude already. Like, you look like Suge Knight. You're kind of intimidating looking. Like, here's my question. How small is your dick that you have to continue this nonsense, that you have to perpetuate this shit where I have to see? Now, I hate going to clubs, but sometimes I have to for business reasons or because I'm performing or whatever. And like, if I fucking see one more yuppie white motherfucker fucking, spraying champagne or fucking like dabbing to some like I'm selling fucking cocaine shit, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. Like, stop. Stop.
That's tough because I fuck with Rick Ross and nothing's gonna make me go out and spend $6.50 on a bottle that I know is $78 to make it look good for the club. No, that's out. Like you're never gonna get me for that.
Of course.
But I get it. Like, and I think that's where they capitalize on the entertainment factor is they make you want to do that. Like if you listen to enough Chicago shit and you're not from that life, you're gonna want to shoot a gun. Your brain is gonna be like, try it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I think it's that same aspect of it.
That's the thing is like, that's what I feel like is lacking. It's like, look, you could glorify the life as much as you want because there's like, I'm not going to make this like high school health class where it's like drugs are all bad and you're going to fucking die. It's like, no. There's a lot of glory and a lot of cool shit and respect and all that other shit that comes along with like being the fucking man or like being the dude, like being the plug. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's the dude.
Right.
So like, yeah, there's a lot of cool shit that comes along with that, but at the same time, it's like, you can't be so fucking one-sided. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like, as fucked up as it sounds, it's like, look, I know it's entertainment, but it's like, it's your social responsibility. If you're telling people that have never heard about this shit at all in their fucking life, and all you're giving them is fucking, like, sunshine and rainbows, like come on, man, like give like you gotta, it can't be so one-sided, you know what I mean?
But I think he shed a little bit of light on that in this last album, and I fucked with that about him. And Rick, he was in Manhattan recently at like a album release thing, and I actually wanted to go to it because I'm like, I spoke to someone and I tried to get some tickets, and they could have swindled me into there because I'm like, I just want to brush shoulders with him because I want to. If I get 3 minutes with him to just say my piece, I want to. It didn't happen. Make a long story short, but I wanted to say that I like where he's headed with like the buy back the block, and he's like, if you're gonna sell drugs, or not sell drugs, but
legitimize.
Right, exactly. Like use that money towards something positive. I like where he's going with that, but I also feel like you're too far in at this point. You know what I mean? Like
way too far
for people to.
It's like stop. At this point, I feel like, yo, stop fucking taking away from Killer Mike right now. You know what I mean? Who's really doing some real shit aside from you know, Run the Jewels, like, which is like fun. Also, like there's some real shit to that, but like on the other side of that, like he's doing some real shit, some like real I'm buying up property in the ghetto. Sure. I'm developing property. Sure. I'm doing real community black banking, which is like it's I mean, you know, it's still a fucking grassroots movement, but like that's the shit that's starting to catch on. That's the shit that's like actually gonna make a difference rather than, you know, making people feel like or fantasize about like being a fucking petty coke dealer. Like, you know, bitch, I got 8 balls. Like, bro, an 8 ball is like, like, let's be realistic. Okay. The best dealer making it, you know what I mean? That's still breaking it down as low as 8 balls. What are they making on an 8 ball? Come on. Like,
okay. So that's a good point. And there's a lot of shit that with that, I think, you know, like buy back the block. At a certain point, if you don't, like New York gangsters from the boroughs, they get rich and they move to Atlanta. They get rich, they used to move to Long Island. Like they used to just branch out.
Poconos, White Plains.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they go way out. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's at a certain point, I don't know where we lost it, but like to get back to like Italians, like they all live together in fucking duplexes. It's very weird. You see the grandmother, the dad,
it's all
his
the
kids.
Same, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The great grandkids, the babies, they're around.
Yeah.
So I think at a certain point with like bad neighborhoods and being in the hood, you want to get as far away from it as possible. You know what I'm saying? So you either it's no gray area with it. You either like I'm in the hood all day, catch me around, or we haven't seen him. He's not welcome back here. He lives in Connecticut.
And what the new thing is like, what have you done for your city? You know what I mean? Like, what have you done? So it's like, okay,
that's why I say you can't win. You know what I mean?
Right, and it's totally a double-edged sword. So like, I get the whole like, nah, I don't want to fucking go back to this shit neighborhood that like made my life miserable. And I understand. Hey, I want to invest in the neighborhood, which is also a double-edged sword, by the way, because like,
fuck that shit. Who want to build up Charleston, South Carolina? I'm just kidding.
Bro.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I know a handful of dudes that like bought a couple brownstones in Bed-Stuy, which is now, by the way, Stuyvesant Heights.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Stuyvesant Heights.
Gentrification is finest.
And the gentrification is
that's
like
crazy.
Yeah, it is so far along the way. Like, so now it's like, okay, yeah, you're trying to save the neighborhood and you're driving out your own people. Instead of making affordable housing, you're gentrifying your own neighborhood. So what are you doing really? You can't win.
This is I'll say this. I'll say with all the shit that's happening, right? So say you lived in Harlem in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Say, you know, even our age. So I'm 28. I was born in 88, obviously. So say I grew up in Harlem or one of the boroughs, or Brooklyn, we'll say. You know what Brooklyn looked like in 1988? You know what I'm saying? So, so say I'm at, you know, as I was getting older and I just know that Brooklyn, and then I see, you know, in 2010 a Starbucks come. What about that makes me hate that Starbucks? Like, I don't want that shit in my neighborhood. You know what I mean?
It's not the Starbucks.
I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, you know, at this point, you missed the window of it. Like, but if you didn't want that, have your man open up a pizza parlor. You know, the fucking lady who has fish fries on Fridays, have her open up a spot like
the bottom line is that it's all about the bottom line. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, if it's not as profitable to open up a fucking pizza shop or a fucking roti joint for, Miss Trinidad over there. It's like, yo, like, let's be realistic here. Like, if it's not as profitable to do that as to open up a fucking artisanal mayonnaise store, like,
Okay,
bro,
gotcha.
come on. You know
But
what
see,
I mean?
I think that's also a thing with white people and black people. And
What, black people hate mayonnaise? We know.
I don't like
I'm not a
mayonnaise.
fan.
Like,
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't fuck
I'm
with mayonnaise.
personally not a fan.
But I mean, see, I'd like to have more voices in here. I always say, like, speak for yourself. So I'd like to have more voices in here to just fuck with the percentages. But I think like white neighborhoods stay to themselves for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Black neighborhoods, I feel like I said, you get some money, you go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see, on Twitter and social networks and shit, support black businesses. And I'm like, but bitch, you got what is that? A Versace belt on and a Louis Vuitton bag. Like, those are Italian designers. Wear FUBU if you care that much. And I think that's where it gets fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Now you're getting carried away. Wear
a Sean John velour if you fucking care that much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, you dress in Fat Farm and Sean John. You go out, see what happens, see how that goes for you.
You know what I'm saying? So but in all seriousness, like, if we're talking about giving money back and not stopping gentrification, but keep the neighborhood yours, do what you need to do for it. And I think at a certain point, like, if you go to like a Polish butcher, if you go in, it's gonna be Polish people. They're the same people that have been going to that butcher. Their parents went, their grandparents went.
Sure.
And other places, I feel like in the hip hop community and black communities, we like to fuck with the trends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll see a rapper in a Givenchy shirt, and I'm like, you should have your own clothing line. Like,
that's what it is.
I'd rather buy your shit.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Is.
So, and after a while, that's old. So with FUBU was the shit. It had a great run, and it was like, oh, that's old. We don't do that anymore. Now we're wearing foreign shit. So you know what I'm saying? I think that's where it fucks up. You know what I'm saying? Look at Kanye. I know you have your feelings about Kanye, but Kanye put out his clothing line, and people are like, oh no, fuck that. That's too expensive. You'll buy Giuseppe's. You know what I'm saying? You'll buy motherfucking True Religion jeans for $350. Buy Kanye shit since you care. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna talk about keeping the shit where it needs to be, keeping the money in the community, keeping all that, why not give it to someone who's trying? You know what I'm saying? I get it. These prices are through the roof.
I feel you.
Nobody wants to wear Starberries for $15. No, I get that, so don't buy those. But
no, I feel you. But I mean Kanye though.
But that's what I mean. But see, you see how it's easy to just turn them off. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody still fucks with Jordans. You know what I mean?
Because it's fucking commercial. It's cliche. Look, but not right now. Everyone's wearing Adidas. They're back to that bullshit. Air Force Ones, and they get them dirty now, which is another story we've got to get into. But it's the trend, and I feel like the black community is the only community that falls into that bullshit. You get some money, I'm going to buy a foreign whip. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is though? Like, I mean, this is gonna sound fucking racist, but okay, like
go for it. You don't have to qualify. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, whatever. Only mildly racist here.
17%, as I always say.
Yeah, that was my last score. No, I feel like because, like you said, there's such a there's kind of such a want to get out of the ghetto and make it out. That there is such emulation, whether it be like these Italian gangsters or like even like I see so much, people talk about what is it? I forget what it's called, cultural reappropriating or whatever.
Oh, right. I want to get into that also. But.
Yeah, and there's so much there's so much cultural diffusion just across in general. I mean, I don't know about every other place in the world, but like this is fucking New York. It's a mixed bag of every fucking thing. Sure. Like there is no, oh, that was mine. Like there's no, so like when it comes to that, I will say though, like when it comes to people like, you know, wanting to get the fuck out of the ghetto and never go back, which is most people that are from the ghetto.
Right.
It's the next best thing they have, like, to kind of look up, because they have nothing beyond that. So they have to literally set kind of a new standard of living, because they've already exceeded the previous one. And so, you know, from what I've seen, a lot of it is like, you know, they look to like Italian mobsters, whether it be what they see in movies, or they look to like Jews, which is often, you know, stereotypically the people that handle their money. So it's like there's a lot of cultural diffusion, and you know what? There's a lot of new style born in the process. I remember when Tommy Hilfiger was the thing.
Sure.
Like, was the shit.
Right.
Like, that's all. It's always like, you know, then it became like, like you said, like, you know, the Gucci belts and this and the fucking Lacoste and polo shirts it was for a minute. Sure. It's where it's like, yo,
I was definitely a victim of Ralph Lauren. Everything had
I did,
polo.
bro. I did the Lacoste. The only difference was, like, I actually looked like a country club member when I wore that shit. You know what I mean? So, like, but that's what it, like, where it was almost like literally like, you couldn't get as far opposite of like kind of urban ghetto culture. You can't get more far opposite than that as you know, dressing in fucking Lacoste, dressing in golf and tennis clothing. I've never played golf or tennis in my fucking life.
A golf, but not in recent
mini
years,
golf.
No, real golf.
You go to the driving range.
I've been to
real golf.
Real golf,
like golf cart, real golf.
At Sunken Meadow, I played at Harbor Links.
Shut up.
Yo, listen, I'm from Manhasset, bro.
You fucking elitist prick.
Like, you know, I don't have, like, people like, what's your handicap? Like, I didn't get that far into it, but, like, I'll shoot 9 holes with you. I have a set of clubs on deck always.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. No.
Bro, I got a set of clubs on deck. I had 2. Someone gave me a set of clubs, which I never used because the fit was all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was like a couple inches taller than me, but that's not here nor there. But I've done those things, so it was what I knew. Like, it wasn't, and then I go places, and like shit like that would happen. They're like, "You golf?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Get the fuck out of here, Bo." And I'm like, "Oh, I do." You know what I'm saying? And that would really happen to me. And I'm like, "Oh, not everyone does this shit. Okay, good to know." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that, like, that cultural appropriation shit, I almost feel like, and, you know, stop me if I'm wrong, I almost feel like that's for the trolling purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took our culture, you know what I mean? Like, the fuck was you doing with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, so a guy can't wear his hat backwards and all of a sudden that's your shit. You know what I'm saying? I
1,000% agree with, like, I think the cultural, like, reappropriation shit, like, I'm sorry, that is bullshit. Like, that is, like, okay, if you're biting someone's style directly, like, what's that dude's name we were talking about earlier? XX whatever. He's whack as fuck. He's whack. Like, don't. I just learned how to say his name. Yeah, I don't even want to. That sounded fluid.
I don't know if that's.
I don't even want to plug his name because he's that fucking whack. But like that shit where like Drake's like, oh yeah, similar cadence. Like, nah, bro, you stole his shit. Look, man, like, let's be real.
If you're listening, I'm probably like your number 3 fan. Drake is my man, 100 grand. But you stole that shit. Like,
bro, like, absolutely bit that shit. And also, if you're listening, listen, man, where's that Jamaican accent coming from? You were bar mitzvahed in Canada, bro.
That's exactly why I said I want to get into that culture.
Let's be real. Yeah, we're talking cultural reappropriation. Like, yo, listen, what's this deal with your side ting? Like, bro, come on, man. Fired. Like, stop. Like, tell me what a bomba clot is, bro. Like, what the fuck is this? You were bar mitzvahed in Canada.
So that's exactly where I was going with it, to Drake Drizzy. He can't do that. He can't dabble in reggae a little bit. Okay, there's my answer. If you go to my YouTube channel,
unless it's in a joking way. Like, have you ever
he's
heard?
dead serious. He's dead serious.
I know he's dead serious. That's the issue. Like, have you ever heard like Busted go into that like Jamaican
Busted
shit?
Jamaican, I think.
Yeah, but I'm saying like even if he wasn't, it'd still be cool because like he pulls it off. Like he's just got that swag. Like, oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm not even for real. I'm just doing this shit. Gotcha. Like, give me some more. Like he's got that just like.
If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see his face when I said he can't do that. He looked at me like, I had 5 heads. But I think. Like,
of course not. Just because he's half black, like from a dad that didn't fucking raise him, it's like, yo, bro, he went to a Jewish school and was bar mitzvahed. He's more Jewish than me, bro. So like, if I did a fucking Jamaican accent, I'd be like, I'd be looked at fucking sideways, man.
What gets me, if you ever watch Drake, like Drake's music in his interviews is different. If you listen to his interviews, like we speak the same way, you know what I mean? I don't like that melody.
Not to be racist, but he's well spoken. Not well spoken for a black man. He's just well spoken in general.
If I listen to his interviews and I'm like, wow, if you just listen to an interview without seeing him and listen to his music without seeing him, you wouldn't even know that was the same dude.
It's not. Yeah, it's a total put on.
You think so? See, that's what got me.
It's a put on.
And I was talking about Drake was our Michael Jackson on Twitter, and this dude said to me, he said, Drake. I tried to find it actually because I try to respond to everybody on Twitter. Sure, but I have a lot of shit I have to scroll through, so I lost him in the mix. So I don't have the exact quote, but he was like, he was from Jamaica. He was like, actually in Jamaica, he took our culture and ran with it. Like he took our style. He's not even from here. And I was thinking like, he can't do that? Like why?
Nah.
And he can't do that?
Nah.
Okay, there's my definitive answer. But I was curious because
it's not a matter of cultural reappropriation either. That it has nothing to do with that. Because if he came out with an album that was like all reggae,
he did. I fuck with Drake.
I get you. If he came out with an album that was like all reggae feels and like he had his own twist on it and shit like that, cool. But like, nah, it was all samples, bro. It was all samples. It was all, hey, yeah, let me sample this fucking pop contract. This is a dude who fucking died. I'm gonna probably get his licensing cheap and I'm gonna blow this shit up in the US. Like, bro, stop.
Okay.
Stop. See, like, yo, you want to be on some real shit? Like, yo, how many people who know who Drake is know who fucking Vybz Kartel is? What's good with that?
Okay.
You want to make that reggae scene pop? Like, what's fucking good?
You have an argument there. I'm gonna argue it, but let me see. It's I opened up my phone. It's 22 Drake songs on this album, right? Mm-hmm. You listen to the first one, Free Smoke. Hey, I listen to that. All right, fine. Finish Drake. Then it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six tracks was a long way to get through for me. Where I'm like, what the fuck is this reggae shit? I don't listen to reggae at all. Nothing. I like the only reggae shit I have in my iTunes before I have music when you had to buy the shit is Buju Banton. I don't know what the album is called, but Till Shiloh, I think, or some shit. Right. I don't know whatever it is. The only reggae I've ever listened to in my entire life. Like I can't get through one reggae song. Personally, I'm like, Drake, this isn't what I like you for, bro. Like I don't know, the Europe shit he's doing, that mix, this new shit he's doing, I don't know what that's about either.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I think that's some commercial shit that Apple has him doing to like, scoop up the next wave of music.
It's not that Apple has him doing. It's just that
you think it's him.
Dude, yeah, I think he's fucking lost it, man. I think he's lost
Drake has lost it. Can we get into the Drake? Can we get into the Drake debate?
Let's
we got time for this. Yeah, you tired,
bro?
Okay,
you kidding me?
All right. I feel like I want to set up my phone so I can have 2 angles to this shit. Drake is our Michael Jackson.
I disagree. Strongly.
Let me. Listeners, you have to excuse me for one moment because I feel like I've been holding this back and I've never had a person worthy that I felt was worthy of arguing with. But this gentleman right here, Harrison Forbes, at That's Harrison on Twitter, is totally worth it because this man, like I said, I gave you all the backstory, so he qualified him. He's valid. I would argue with him about this.
I appreciate
So,
that.
hey, no, I just say what I mean. So, as I was saying, Drake is our Michael Jackson, and you said,
I said no. I said, look, his early stuff is great. Just like Eminem's early stuff is great. Eminem's first 3 albums. No. First 4 albums, because there's that one, like, what's it called? Like,
fuck Eminem. It's been 10
one
years.
called Infinity, and then Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show. And he had like a fuck ton after that are all garbage, as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, as far as Drake goes, every album after Take Care, I don't respect as a body of work.
Are you serious?
Straight up.
Oh my God, I can't
Even
believe
that shit on my worst behavior. Yo, get the fuck out of here. If you, listen to a track like.
What is that?
That was on the album after Take Care. That's why I referenced
with
it.
The shit in the clouds. I forget.
Yeah.
I bought those shits. Like, no.
Me too.
I have the vinyl. I have the vinyl.
Okay, I don't have the vinyl.
I bought the vinyl because I had this dream of him signing it.
Okay.
I'm dead serious. Like,
But okay, so
nothing was the same. That was it.
right. So like, yeah, with that shit, it's like, okay, if you think that's up to par, listen to like a track like The Calm, Say What's Real, Look What You've Done, and then follow it by Worst Behavior.
Okay.
Tell me how that flows.
Okay. There's something to that. But I think it's that versatility. Like, Drake.
Versatility from what? From like well, well thought out and well articulated to ignorant. Like, bro, why are you mispronouncing words on purpose when I hear you in interviews
and I know you speak
and you fucking over pronunciate like a goddamn Canadian? Like, stop it. Like, stop this started in a wheelchair, now I'm here shit.
Okay. So I think how do I say, to give you a little bit of how passionate I am about Drake. When Meek came out and said his fucking Twitter fingers said that he didn't write his own music, it actually made me a little bit sad. Like, I remember when Michael Jackson died, I was sitting in a girl's backyard, and I think I was on Twitter or some shit. I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, "Oh, Michael Jackson died," and someone was like, "Don't do that." And I'm like, "Nah, I wouldn't make that up." And it was like a moment, like, "Oh shit!" Like, I just happened to open up my phone and whatever was on, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh, shocking, yeah.
When I saw that Drake didn't write his own music, I got the chills, and I was like, "Oh." Because I felt like, yo, the shit this guy raps about, I don't know what it is, but I was so connected to it. And I'm like, yo, his fucking...
Because it was real. Initially, it was real.
I think that, but I was so invested because his initial... I don't know what summer it was, but I remember his first song I ever heard from him is like, Wayne's here. Oops, I mean a red clue. Rain's here. Wayne's here. Sue, whatever the fuck he said or whatever it was. I forget the song, and it was right after that, So Far Gone. So it was
okay.
Like, I didn't hear So Far Gone when it officially came out.
Yeah.
But it was whatever came out after that. I was like, oh shit. And I would listen to the words he said and his problem with women, and I'm like, he has, at the time I'm like, oh, you got problems. You got women problems too. I'm like, all right, this guy gets it. And then as his progression came, I'm like, oh shit, take a shot for me. I'm like, oh shit, like, this guy gets it. And it was his lyrics that got me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was so articulate, and like, he really kind of, he demonstrated like the depth of like his emotional spectrum and like how much he understands, and also like his perception of things. Like I said, like, I mean, Say What's Real is probably my favorite track ever, because it's just like, it's so, there's shit where he gets so like, yeah, and on Look What You've Done, where it's like that shit about his uncle and his mom, exactly. It's just like, this is real. You can't make it up. Like, stop.
Even up to, Nothing Was the Same. Like we just talked about.
So like, How do you?
I think the song like "Come Through." Girl, you know we got things to do. When he said, "Who used to sleep on the floor with you when you lived in the basement?"
That's
I
what I'm
promise.
saying.
I was with a girl, and I went to her crib, back to her house. The bitch didn't have a mattress, and I was like, "Oh shit." We slept on the floor together. That was a real. Like I went there, and I was like, "Oh shit." I'm like, I wanted to just go home, like, all right, fuck this. But you can't come back to my house.
That's
but
a
whatever.
deal breaker. Yeah.
But no, that's a true story. When I heard that shit, when he said that, I'm like, yo, that was a defining moment. Like this that was like 2013. I'm like, this motherfucker understands me.
Laid that night.
You know how long you know me, bro.
Yeah, come on.
But I'm like, yo, this guy gets me. So. You know, I'm bringing you up to speed that's how, like, I'm telling you, like, that very moment, I'm like, yo, that's a fucking real moment. Like, that's love. Like, oh, whatever the fuck it is at the moment.
All right, now let me take you from, like, that shit where it's, like, it really captures, like, the emotion of, like, literally such an emotionally complex, like, situation where he's literally, like, in a lot of the songs, it's, like, you have like the pros and cons and like the dissonance within his like relationships with people. And let me take you from that to I think I need some Robitussin. Like, okay.
Okay. Cool. See, that I'll give you, but I don't know. See, this is why I want to meet Drake one day. I think that's for that he just has to throw that out to gather the kids.
For who?
Not everyone's like this podcast. I don't give a fuck if it's 5 hours. I don't give a fuck if we're drinking brisk iced tea and Jameson not in the microphone, because I want to be respectful to the listeners in that point, but I don't give a fuck if we ramble and don't even we just keep going in circles. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about that, because I do this shit for me. Not everyone's like that. Like, some people will do shit to impress the masses. So I think that's where he has those celebrity moments where he has to, in order for him to maintain that shit and keep scooping up the new listeners, he has to hit him with some Migos shit that doesn't make any sense every once in a while. Like,
you know what? It's like, I can respect that if it was on some shit like Hotline Bling. Not that I like that song or respect that song. I think.
Are you serious?
What, Hotline Bling?
You don't fuck with Hotline Bling?
Not even remotely.
That's so crazy to me. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I'm ever hearing this, and I saved this talk with this guy.
Also, can we talk about that video for a second?
Yo, his dance moves are fire.
It might be more offensive than the Pepsi commercial.
No, his dance moves are fire.
Bro.
Are you serious?
Stop. You used to. Come on, stop.
His dance moves are fire.
For real, though.
I can't even believe you right now. I'm hurt. But I forget what song it is.
Stop that.
I would play it right now, but I can't. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to run through it. But in a Drake song, he's just rambling. He's like, I don't take naps. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I was listening to it, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, this latest album is where he really, like, he lost me a little bit, and he took a lot of controversy. I don't know if you heard, like, Joe Budden's take on Views, his albums. Like, Joe Budden was like, "What are you, depressed, motherfucker? What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you going through?"
I mean, I've fucked with Joe Budden since day one when he blew with Pump It Up, like,
and we were friends at that time. Like, we were around each other at that time, and I remember, and I fuck with Joe because Joe. This Rage in the Machine,
the album with A-Rap Music,
right.
Yeah. I fuck with that.
I listened to that also.
Although Joe, like, I could hear a lot of people are like a lot like better when they're all fucked up and like high. Like, I wish Eminem would not be sober anymore because I feel like he'd make dope music. But I feel like on this album you could tell Joe was high.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, when
Rage
Joe
in the Machine
doing fucking. You think it's just weed? I think he's just doing He's on pills. Yeah. He's fucking with them pills.
But did you see that interview with him on Hot 97 where he walked out on fucking?
You know, I passed over. I didn't watch it. I watched him and I gotta watch. I'm gonna look at it.
Fucked up.
I'm gonna look at it. That's crazy.
It's fucked up. It's and I love Joe. Like, all the mood music shit. Like, that is my shit. And as much as like the album Rage in the Machine is kind of like, it has its ups and downs. Like, that song Uncle Joe. Murder.
Yo, that's one of my favorite fucking songs.
It's Uncle Joe. I favorited that. Joe and this bitch.
I don't favorite much in iTunes. I favorited that song. Like, yo, listen, I got to green light this. But anyway, Joe Buttons was, he was very critical of Drake, saying that Views was the same shit and he's not growing as an artist, and you know what I mean? He was just unhappy with the overall performance. Views was one of my favorite albums, and I felt it on a sense of, I go through my personal issues. But it was a song of I think the intro to the album, like Keep Your Family Close, it was called. Like all of my let's just be friends, friends I don't have anymore. Whatever, keep my family close. And I'm like, that shit just like that, I'm not fucking depressed, but that hurt in his music and on the Views album, that anger or whatever he was, it got me, like it touched me. I'm like, wow, this guy, like he gets it. Like not everything is gonna run smooth. It doesn't matter what level you are in your life, not everything's gonna run smooth. And it really, it like I said, it touched me, you know what I'm saying? And Joe Buttons was saying like the shit's depressing. You're still having problems with bitches, you know what I'm saying?
See, I don't see it like that. And I haven't heard that that interview where it came off like that, but like, look, the way I see it is, look, no matter what you have or how much you have or where you're at in life, you're gonna have fucking problems.
Of course,
that goes without saying. So when you chalk them up to sound like these luxury problems, when I know you're just scratching the surface, where it's like, yeah, my girl don't like when all my boys are in the crib and she wants them out, but that's not realistic. It was something, literally something to that effect. I forget what song.
She want to run through the crib without clothes, and that's just not how we live. I know exactly what line you're talking. See, that's how much Drake I know, that I know exactly what line you're talking about.
So, and that was in like the not this latest album, but the one before. Views, right? Yeah. So it's shit like that where it's like, listen, like, dude, you're obviously going through it more than just like, yeah, my bitch wants to run around naked, but like all my boys are at my crib. So like, that's your biggest problem. That's your biggest issue in life. Like, God bless you, quit, retire, call it a fucking day if that's the case. But but come on, like, don't insult my intelligence by being like, yeah, I poured my heart out on this out. No, like, either give yourself or fucking don't, but don't make the fans pay for some shit that's not real.
Let me look. I gotta look at how many tracks are on this album. I remember I was sitting up, Views, it came out 2016. It doesn't say the month. I was sitting up at night. I was playing Madden like late.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to, I don't know. I went to play some shit and I was like, fucking Drake album. I'm like, what is that? I click on it and I'm like, oh, this shit is new. The first track, I'm like, I'm buying this shit. I think this shit was like $14. Drake raised the price on us or whatever it was. And I was like, fuck it, I'm buying it. And I listened to it at this one, 20 tracks on it. I fuck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't fuck with that pop shit like that, Rihanna. I'm too good for you. I don't fuck with that. Controller, I actually liked. And then when they played on the radio, like, it took it from me. I just, let me clarify. When I first heard it, oh no, it was I Need a One Dance. I mixed those two up.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck with that. When I heard Controller, like, I didn't like it at first, but then I fucked with it like hard.
Samples.
I fucked with it. I don't know what it was. I fucked with it hard. Like, yo, this shit is smooth. And I don't like that reggae shit. I know, like, real reggae people are like up in arms right now. Like, that's not fucking reggae.
Yeah.
To me, that was a good blend to my likeness. I heard it on the radio and I'm like, oh, they're going to make this into some reggae shit. I don't like it anymore. So with that album, like, I fucked with it so hard. I'm like, yo, Drake is the fucking best. Like,
wow.
You look so disappointed.
Wow. My mind is blown.
And let me just also say that Harrison, if I had to build my top 5 of without the obvious shit, like Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. is not in my top 5 anymore, and I'll get into that later.
I was gonna say, if there's a Michael Jackson of our generation, it is the Notorious B.I.G. without question.
Bro, are you serious?
Dead ass.
Why? Explain that.
why?
Explain yourself. Like, Notorious B.I.G. would be our Michael Jackson and not Drake?
Yep. 1,000%.
You're shitting me.
Drake wouldn't exist without him. No question about it. Drake would not exist.
Are you serious?
So serious.
Notorious B.I.G. would be like DMX right now at this point in his career.
Crazy. Bro. Yo, he still gets sampled on tracks, okay? With people. Yo, what was the last the last Notorious album where he was like where they had all the features on it that Diddy did, where it was like
remastered, I think. Forget what it was.
This shit
I actually, the crazy shit is I bought that.
The shit with Jay. The shit with Jay. Why am I forgetting the fucking the hook?
I have it.
Throw your hands in the sky.
I know it's gonna come to me. I'm looking through my iTunes right now. See, that's what I'm saying. So you don't have that problem with Drake. You know Drake shit to reference. You don't even know the Notorious B.I.G. Like this, we talking about 55 years ago of worth of rap. Biggie duets. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, what is it? I have it right here. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, but you know Tommy Two-Tone shit by lyrics. If I'm like, yo, what's that fucking never gonna give you up? Like, you're gonna sing the rest of that Rick Roll shit. Stop fucking around. Stop playing.
I don't know what that is.
Shut up.
I'm gonna tell you, my favorite song is with Biggie is "Fucking You Tonight" with R. Kelly. To me, that's the illest shit. And then the shit with him and Faith. One More Chance.
Wow.
Like, those are my
okay.
And I know I like the other shit, but I'm like, that's my that R&B, like that hybrid sound is my sound. You're the only rapper that I fuck with that's lyrical.
Sure.
On that sense. Like, I don't really listen to Eminem. I can't name 5 Eminem songs. Like, I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. It's always the first shit that comes to my head.
Commercial,
and
yeah.
I'm being the God's honest truth. And you know, like, that's why I fuck with my boy Nate. Like, I like his melodies. He comes up with these weird melodies. Like, his lyrics are not, you know, what I would require, like what I would like to hear, but he freestyles a lot of shit. Like, he doesn't write it, so I respect it as at that point. When he writes, his writing gets crazy, but when he freestyles it, it's more about the melody. Your shit, I know the time and the effort you put into it.
Sure.
But as far as like music I hear like on the radio and commercial shit, Biggie, like, we gonna do this? I can give you. Don't get me wrong. He was in my top 5 as recent as like 2 years ago.
Okay.
But at some point, I had to let it go. Like, at some point, I was
really?
and I know we were talking about Drake. We'll get back to that. Hit us on Twitter at That's Harrison, at King Bo Christ. Remind us if we don't.
The song.
Give me your top 5.
I can't. I don't even.
You can't
know.
give me top 5 rappers.
I don't living or dead, like dead
Just
or alive.
Overall, whatever influenced you the most. Want me to start? I'll start. I'll give you my top 5 and we can argue about it. But I'd rather hear yours. I don't want to influence your picks.
Biggie number 1, hands down.
Number 1?
Number 1, hands down. Hands down, bro. I don't know what, like, Ready to Die is the best hip hop album of all time, period. Period. Bro, I don't even know how anyone can argue that. Like, if you're from the West Coast, you could pull that, like, yeah, Tupac shit on, like, whatever.
Fuck Tupac. Tupac isn't in my top 10. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm tired of that shit. And I'm out of Jameson. I'm definitely tired of that shit.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you.
Hey, we got more.
Tupac isn't in my top 10. Pac is not in my top 10. It's 2017. Those days are over. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the greats. This guy wants to hold on to Biggie. I'll give him that.
Bro,
as far as Pac,
you can't not. I'll tell you what, Pac
Biggie's
had it.
number one.
Pac had it with the Humpty dance, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he went to art school. We're going to talk about Drake was fucking bar mitzvah. Pac went to, he was a ballerina and some shit. I saw it.
Saying ballerinas can't live thug life.
That's going to be a good clip. But in all seriousness, my number one is Hove. Jay-Z.
Whoa.
Why that? Like, why that? Why? Why that?
I don't know if he makes my top 5.
You don't know if Hove makes your top 5?
I don't know if he makes my top 5.
Turn the fucking microphones off. We gotta talk about this.
Yo,
are you serious?
all right. Reasonable Doubt is an unbelievable album. I don't know. I have some issues like with Hove over the years.
What are your issues? Because let me. I'm gonna tell you, when I first heard Reasonable Doubt, when did it come out? Like fucking 1997? I don't know what it was.
96, I feel
96. I didn't get it. It wasn't. I wasn't old enough to understand it. My Jay-Z. Oh wow, I can't even look at it on Apple Music anymore. I forgot he snatched all his shit off there. He's such a
Title.
I can't even look at it to fucking reference to argue his point. But what my Hove starts in like 2005, 2006, when he like contemplated retirement, and then I went
Black Album type shit.
It started the Black Album, and the Black Album would be like 4th on my list of shit that I like from him.
Yeah,
but
Blueprint.
Yeah, right. It started there, and then I went backwards when I was a little older, and I understood it, and that's what made him the great to me. And the fact that he's still alive, I have to put him at my number one because he can always progress. At some point, Big stopped progressing to me. Pac stopped progressing to me.
Big stopped progressing because he died.
I'm not holding that against him, but
he's 24 years old.
I get that, but at some point, his music has a ceiling. So with Hove, I know you should see his face right now. This is amazing, but
like, dude, Hove was on that song. Throw your hands in the sky. Shit. Hove was on that song with Biggie. If you could listen through to that song and tell me, and I'm talking, Hove laid his verse on that shit 20 years later. If you could tell me Hove's verse is hotter than Biggie's, like, okay, I'll shoot myself.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
face.
I'm a realistic guy. I know that every Hove verse is not going to be the best ever. Like, I you know what I'm saying? I can't recall. I have to listen to it again.
I have issues with Hove that are like, okay, Reasonable Doubt is an amazing album. If every album after that was if he kept up that creativity and that craftsmanship and that attention to detail and everything he did after that, he would probably be number one in my mind. My issue is, like, he got on that, like, you know, Superfly. Oh, I don't need Dame Dash. I don't need anybody. Like, I'm the fucking. Sure. But like, yo, there's a lot to be said. Look, like, for the people that know, like, the real story, not to like get into the whole fucking thing, but like, yo, there's a lot to be said for loyalty. So like, regardless,
okay, I'll give you that.
Regardless, like Dame Dash, Jay-Z wouldn't exist without Dame Dash. Period. So
I'll give you that. There's an aspect to it where people forget that there still has to be business done. Whatever your rap skills are, there still has to be business done. And I think, you know, obviously Dame Dash brought that to the front. Sure, Jay-Z had his own money, but record label still told him no. He had a bright idea to do it. He didn't do it himself. So, you know, he needed that other counterpart. So it worked in that point. So,
right.
I will say there's a point to, he couldn't have done it without Dame Dash. Without Dame Dash, I don't know what his career would have been. We could guess forever.
Right. There's that, but also like at a certain point after, like, you know, he was a little bit more established. It was like, you know, he came out on this shit that was like biting Biggie's whole deal where, like, you know, Biggie never wrote anything down. Like, Biggie would just sit there, vibe for 20 minutes, get in the booth and lay his whole shit down.
One take.
Then Hov was like, yeah, you know what? I don't write anything. You know what? He wrote every song on Reasonable Doubt. And guess what? Like, on all the songs where he didn't write, it sounds like he didn't write. Like,
So
you don't have to tell me which ones you didn't write,
You
bro.
have a good ear for shit like that. I don't really. It takes me a couple listens, and I'm a thorough listener in the sense that I'll listen to your album straight through, intro to outro, 2 times, and then listen to my favorite songs before I make an opinion on it. So, and then after that, and after knowing your body of work, I feel like I could tell what they listen to. But you have a better ear in that sense that you know, I've been with you and you're like, he didn't write that. I'm like, why? Of course he did it. Why wouldn't he write that? And then, you know, years later, this shit comes out and I'm like, oh shit, he was right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't write that. So you have a better sense to that. But for me, I couldn't really tell until I got a little, like I say, years later, I look back and I see like, oh, this is his writing style. And this is that shit when he tries to, you know, he writes it in his head and then he goes in the booth and spits it. And then the years, like, it takes
like,
me a while.
Oh, there's a lot of syllables missing here.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think the average fan doesn't know that. So Hov being, like I said, back to my point, Hov being the great was his ability to progress. And I can't hold it against Big for getting fucking killed in California.
Did he progress though? You know what I mean? That's my issue. No, I don't.
Like even
and in fact, I think that like as time goes on, like I've liked him and admired him less and less for a number of reasons. He is like a walking contradiction.
Wow.
Like
explain
it is okay.
This got crazy
in a number of ways. So okay, like Beyonce, his wife,
sure,
a while after they were married. I mean, granted, he didn't get on camera and say anything regarding this. I at least I don't think in the PSA, but like Beyonce went on and on about like in this gun control PSA. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you ever hear your husband's music?
See, I heard a news anchor say that, but at some point,
28 waist enough to fit, or 38 waist enough to fit 19 in.
Right, exactly.
Really, a 36 without the gun, I'm thin, but when the gat is tucked, I'm fat as fuck. Like, yo, come on.
See,
where it's like,
that's why you're good.
What is it? The fucking. I'm trying to remember a bunch of shit that's coming to mind where it's like, two guns. Now it's a duet and you wet. What the fuck is that? But anyway, like, yo, there's gunplay in every one of his songs. It's like, do you not know who you married? I'm sorry, bitch.
Is that for?
I get you're saying like, oh, is that a dig at Beyonce and not Jay? But like, yo,
right, that's what I was gonna say. But
okay,
they have two different
prerogatives,
right? I mean, Beyonce should change in the past couple of years, and me and her, like, her music is different to me. But even this latest shit he put out, like Shyne with Khaled, you know what I'm saying? Is 21 Grammys. I'm a savage nigga. 21 Grammys. My first listen, I'm like, what is this shit? But after, and I really get into when you dive into his lyrics, that's just what I love about Hov. Like he throws those shots at you, and next Tuesday you get it, and you're like, oh shit, he was talking about this person, or oh shit, he was talking about that. So I think that some of this shit is just for entertainment purposes, like we talked about with Drake, when you have to do these things. I think you're so critical. I mean, not in a bad way, but you're so critical.
No, I'm hypercritical for sure.
Right. But I say not in a bad way to be like, it's not negative, but you're so true to who you are and you live your truth so much. And if you go into, what do you have? Probably like fucking 4,500 songs on your hard drive at this point. That I listen to, you play 10 songs for me every time I come to your house or come, you know, wherever I see you at. I hear them and I'm like, yo, that's him. You play some shit. I don't want to, you know, give away your... But you write songs for other niggas. Let's be honest here. So I hear some other shit and I'm like, that's not you. And you'll be like, oh, this isn't for me. And I'll be like, yo, wow, I could tell. So I know your body of work. And I think that they have that same entertainment aspect. Like, this is just some shit I was throwing out there.
And that's the thing for me is like, yo, I write for a lot of other people. So it's like, hey, I know how much easier it is to sound like someone else when someone says, hey, sound like this.
Okay,
But like,
got you.
but what the fuck do you sound like? You know what I mean? What distinguishes you? What, like, who are you? You know what I mean? It's like I listen to the radio and it could be, you could tell me it's anybody and I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Now, you know what I mean? Where
Sure.
it's like you could literally say any fucking name right now and I'd be like, oh yeah, okay. So because it sounds like that. It's all.
And I see that's what gets me. That's what like creates that ceiling for like Biggie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, there's only so much shit you went through in your short time, and I'm growing as a man that shit is only going to start making, it's only going to make sense up to a certain point. And I feel like even he did it, you know, like he said a lot of shit. And if Big came out now, I don't think he would be received well. Like, I think I don't know if it would work. And I see these fucking.
Well, you're talking about so long. Like, that's like saying, hey, if Elvis came out now, would he be received well? It's like,
you have a point there.
But it's like that motherfucker. No, I shouldn't say he invented it. Like, rock and roll was invented by black people. But like, I'm not even going to fucking.
You don't want that slander.
Trust me. Yeah, I'm not saying, no. Yeah.
But, you know, I get that point of it. But like, if Pac came out now, like it would be like that entertainment, that gangsta aspect of it, that it would make sense and we would listen to him still. If Big came out, I think he'd be known as like the gay rapper. Like, we know, it's like slid him down the back and through. Yeah. You see this?
Fuck him in their ass, throw him over the bridge.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
like,
how it
because he wanted me to fuck him from the back. But Smalls don't get down like that. And I'm like, a lot of those shits.
Yo, it's so hard, bro.
But I don't.
That's somebody who, like, that is him. He doesn't give a fuck. Like, you think it's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, like, like, honestly, like, his mentality was like, oh, you think I'm gay? Why don't you try and fuck me? Like, it's like he doesn't, bro. That's all the
like,
way
what was
him.
that shit? That song, Me and My Bitch. He was like, when we first met, I admit my first thought was the trick. She looks so good, I suck on her daddy's dick. When I first heard that, I'm like, all right, goddamn, like, all right.
That's where I draw the line.
I was, whatever year that came out, I was like, I don't know, however old, fucking 13. Yeah. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, like, let's not drag this here. Like, so, and it didn't turn me off from him. I don't give a fuck what he says, but I was like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Like, with that was even, when you shock me, you done a fucking good job. And I'll say the shock value in that shit, I was like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? So
a lot of that, though.
But if he came out now, it would be, I don't know, and like you said, you can't really compare, like, oh, if Rakim came out now, like, if Elvis came out now, or if fucking, whoever, if Chris Brown came out in the 80s, what would that have been? There's a lot of that, but I feel like, I don't know, at a certain point, Big just peaks with me. I don't get it. So to move on with the point, Fab would be my number 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind right now. What was the last good Fab song you heard? No disrespect to Fab, but he's like a fucking 75-year-old Crip from Brooklyn right now. Oh
my goodness, I cannot believe you just said that.
No, get gangsta.
What I think is ill about Fab is his consistency. Fab from then. What year did that come out? 2001? Keeping It Gangsta? 2002?
Yeah, some shit.
From then till now, like the Summertime Shootout, I thought that was a classic shit. And I feel like he gets so overlooked because he's older and he's not as trendy and he still has bars. He doesn't really have melody. He doesn't have bars. You're not gonna give Fab his bars? Oh my God.
No.
This is why I'm glad we saved this talk for the podcast, because I'm learning shit about you.
He used to. Yeah, I feel like he.
Fab doesn't have
feel
bars?
like he used to. Look, I feel like he used to. The thing is that hip hop has changed, and I don't mean in the way of like, oh, you got to do that mumble rap shit now, but I mean in the way that like when he came out with that, and I'm talking, this is like for fucking ever ago, but that's when I was like, ooh, you're slipping. When he came out with that diamonds on my damn chain. That shit. Like, I bought that whole album, but it's like...
Stuck my mind. I think that was the main verse, but I know what you mean.
Right. And there's like a bunch of shit, like a bunch of lines in there, but the one that comes to mind is like, this tiger stripe watch will make your bitch a Bengals fan. And it's just like, ooh, I'm sorry. Like, are you Mace? Are you Mace? Or is this like, did you not get the fucking memo?
Okay.
Like,
see,
yo, in my mind, Shyne will shit all over Fab. Like, Shyne might be in my top 5. That's a real dude.
Now, my instincts wanted me to argue. Like, as soon as you said that, my fucking ears went up and I was like, I want to argue this. But there's something to that. I don't know if I put Shyne in my top 5. That's a dude who
shut his mouth, didn't snitch, made real fucking music, and just took the pinch.
You like him because he's a fucking
man.
Jew. That's why you like him.
Bro, that was way after the fact. That was way after the fact.
No, in all seriousness, I wanted to argue that, but
and plus he fucking like him being a Jew has ended his rap career. So no,
okay.
that's
so
yeah.
That's a valid point. Shyne, I wouldn't put him in my top 5. But if we were doing a rap bracket, if we were doing the March Madness, a rap and Fab lost to Shyne and Shyne advanced to the next round, I don't know if I would argue it too crazy. And I know I just vouched for Fab and I put him as my number 2. But with all things considered, if that was the bracket matchup, I would give you that. Because Shyne has some shit that still bang. I bangs now. Like, I think
bro.
What is it? It's April?
Like crazy. So underrated.
What's today?
So underrated.
It's April. It's 2:30 in the morning for you.
What you know about listeners. Rolling out big tech, big vest, hollow tip all up in that kid neck.
Exactly. Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh my God.
So I was looking at the date, April 11th. I just listened to some Shyne shit. I don't know, like this month. It was early this month. And it was some, I forget what it was. I forget what he said, but some bars I'm like, holy shit, I forgot how nice this dude was. And I actually listened to his album. I was walking dogs. I listened to his fucking album and I'm like, yo, this dude was nice. And I'm like, damn, too bad he shot up a fucking club. I wonder where his career would have been. Allegedly. No, he fucking did that shit. He did the time for that shit. Give Shyne the street credit for shooting up a club.
Hey man, like that's some dude that had Diddy's motherfucking back, and Diddy just, yeah man, I don't know, you just all right. Like, come on, man.
He was like X to us.
Oh my
God. Shit just got real personal. I know the.
Oh my God!
But allegedly,
no. But, that's on some other shit.
But
he was on some shit to protect Diddy.
I went to Belize in like 2014. No, not 2014. Oh shit! I went to Belize in like 2012. There? Actually, 2011, 2012.
Okay.
I went to, that's where he's from, I believe. Mm-hmm. I went to the Princess Hotel. And I was like, oh shit, this is where Shyne stayed. And like 3 people turned around, 3 of the, the residents or employees there, they turned around and they looked at me and like, we don't talk about Shyne here. And I was like, really?
What?
This motherfucker ran up a $50,000 bill in the penthouse suite in Belize. So a $50,000 bill in Belize is like going to Cancun when it's not spring break. Like, what is it, fucking $65 a night for the best room they have? So he ran up a $50,000 tab and left for Israel from there. So we think Shyne's real, but the people in his hometown where he's from, they don't have a good they don't have a good lasting impression of him. I just wanted to throw that little fun fact out there for you guys.
Oh damn.
I know, I thought that was crazy. I'm like, yo, Shyne. I was like, oh shit. Like, I saw it, I went in, I'm like, wait a minute. Just from knowing my hip hop history, I'm like, wait, Shyne was here. And they're like, oh, don't do that. Like, don't, just so you know.
Ripped off the hotel for $50,000.
Ran up a $50,000 tab and fucking left in the middle of the night. Belize has one airport, like one landing strip. Right. One way in, one way out of that motherfucker. It was like a secret mission to get out of there. So they know, they took great offense to it because they were like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, bro, you know what you were doing. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So. Wow, he really made it a point.
So I don't think he's in their top 5. figured I had to share that point while it was on my mind.
No, that's crazy. You took that converting to Judaism shit real serious.
Oh shit. Yeah, that was his initiation. Like, yo, how much have you ripped people off? But so
You can't come to Israel with less than 50K.
I'm trying to tell you, like, goddamn. But his shit was, I don't know. I don't want to say it was keeping it too real. I wasn't there. I don't know. I was a young whippersnapper at the time, and I get he was protecting Diddy.
But even his rhymes are like just on some real, like, damn.
That's why I feel like he was living that shit in the 90s.
You can't make it up.
Right, and
It's too real.
At that time period,
yeah,
you couldn't fake that shit. At that time, if this motherfucker had a Tech or some shit, or a Mac 10, or whatever
Mac
the fuck
10.
it was,
Diamonds and Mac 10s.
What he had a Mac 10 in a nightclub with Diddy and J-Lo, and J-Lo's at the peak of her career, arguably, at this time.
So, right, and okay, maybe they're not as popular now as they were then, but like for the listeners who don't know, a Mac 10 is a fucking big rectangle box of sheet metal with a fucking extendo clip.
You could probably build one at this point.
Of course you could build one. You could fucking
out of aluminum foil. And
hey, people, you could get on the dark web and order them from the Philippines for $120. Anyway,
allegedly. That's gonna be my drop. I got to get that on a soundboard. Allegedly.
I mean, it's the dark web. They like who's catching you. But yeah, no, like that shit is not easy to conceal, and like, no, it's some real shit, and the shit that like he spoke about between like the fucking like just okay, his drug rap is like for real. It's like, oh, okay, you did this shit, like you get it, and that's some shit where it's like as much as he glorifies it, he shows the downside because anybody that's really done it can't show one without the other.
True.
That's the thing. That's the thing I have an issue with, you know?
Very true. But I think I don't know, his career was what it was. He can't want more for a man than he wants for himself.
I mean, he did 10 fucking years. It's hard to come back.
I remember when he recorded that, it was like Usher's Confessions, like 2004.
That shit on the phone from jail.
That was some of the most legendary shit that I have ever like heard. And at the time, like when it's sitting in my cell, heard about the burst. Would I be alive if I didn't shoot first?
Yeah.
Whatever he says, sorry for the ricochet, but I'd be in the grave if I didn't let it spray. When I heard that shit, I was like, yo, if this is not the realest shit, like he really did this. Like,
yeah, no, like there's no joke.
I'm like, these are his real feelings. Like, and that's what made him, that's what like solidified him in history to me. And that's why I give him Fab over the bracket from that shit. And I, I know we talked about wanting, not to leave on that life. And you want to always set a good example, but for the time, I'm like, yo, this shit.
But if you're
crazy.
Gonna portray it accurately. That's my only.
That's
thing.
what that's what I'm saying. Like that's my argument.
That's
and that's
where
what I
like
gave him.
he does the damn thing, you know.
And so we talked about number ones and twos. Who else? Who would be your wild card? So if you say you had your five, it was what it was. Who would be your wild card rapper? That if you couldn't mention the greats. Other than yourself, obviously, who you would throw into the mix?
Joel Ortiz.
I'd say that's the one thing we can agree on. Not the one thing, but
yeah.
I'd say that was like bingo because that I would give you that.
Joel Ortiz, he doesn't have a ton of shit that he drops, but what he does throw out there is murder.
I recently had I talk about this with a couple guys that I was hanging out with. And I gave him my top 5. I explained my whole thing about Biggie. And he was like, I'm like, give me your top 5. And he's like, any rapper from Slaughterhouse. And I was like, Slaughterhouse?
Whoa, bro. Royce, Crooked Eye.
That's exactly what my point was. Like, he was like, all right.
Where's the horseshoe gang at? Like, no offense. Like,
right.
Whatever.
He's like, okay. I said the same exact thing. I'm like, I keep a Sharpie with me at all times, and you can take it and X those motherfuckers out. And he was like, okay, I take that back. He was like, Joel Ortiz. I couldn't even argue with him at that point. Once he said that, I'm like, in your top 5. He was like, yeah. And I was like, I can't even argue that shit. Like,
Can't.
I definitely. Joel Ortiz is weird with me. I don't know. He doesn't have a great discography or whatever, you know, the commercial
He doesn't have
bullshit.
a great image. He doesn't.
Right.
He's got bars.
That's why I'd say that'd be a good wild card because
He's got bars. You know what? That's how I feel about Jada, though. I fuck with Jada. Like, I fuck with Jada. I can't not. Yo, I gotta be honest. Yo, ever since, the track Last Day featuring the Locks, Biggie's track, Can I Live Till My Last Day? Getting honeys up be nasty, making money in a fast way. And I only care halfway, but I still can't let you pass me.
Sure. But he can't come up with a hook. And I know that I just greenlighted Joel Ortiz. I get that. But I have my top 10. Sure, Jada's in there. My top 5?
Right, but are we talking about we're talking about top 5 MCs, not top 5 pop stars?
Okay, I'll give you that. And a lot of the point of I say that to say this podcast is I'm gonna solidify the real shit in the culture. And I know they have the Grammys, but my
Fuck
shit
the Grammys.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's my point. I know they have the Grammys, but my shit is gonna have the right brackets and the right structure to things. To we're gonna speak for the culture on this side.
Bro, my first Grammy, I'm gonna fucking auction off for charity. Like, that's how much I give a fuck about a Grammy.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna play this clip when you're nominated,
bro.
And
Dead
I'm
ass.
Make you do it.
Dead ass. My first Grammy.
I know you're gonna get.
I'm gonna auction off for charity.
Why don't you break it in half and give it to give it to fucking Joe Buddens or one of those assholes. Break it in half. Do it like Adele did and give it to who the fuck were you just vouching for? I can't even think of his name.
Me?
No. Fucking Shyne. Break it in half, send it to fucking Jerusalem, and give it to Shyne.
Oh my God.
What
kind of charity is that?
I fucking lost my train of thought. So I guess we could end this here. We got to do it. We got to have a part 2 to this.
Obviously.
This shit is probably 3 hours. So we're going to turn this into 2 parts and we'll do a part 3.
Yeah, we can fucking edit this however, man.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
But
wait, we have to get to the bottom of it. We have to just give a quick, at least rough top 5, because we just been throwing names out there, but neither.
I wanted to get into it. I don't want to hold you up. I can honestly do this shit till 6 a.m. I don't give a fuck.
You're acting like I have a fucking job to be at.
Okay, so I'll run off my top 5 and we'll argue about it.
Okay.
Hov, as I said, as numero uno. Fab, number 2. 3. See, this is where things get tricky. Is I have to say Drake. I just I don't. It's no.
No, I get it.
Just my personal top 5, and I know we're not talking about MCs. I mean, I know we're just it's personal, so we're not talking about MCs, and we're not talking about pop stars or just shit we likes to listen to. 4. Oh no, what was that? 3 is Drake.
Yeah.
4. It's tough because this 4 slide is always tricky with me, but I give it to Young Dro, and I know it's going. I know. But I'm just going by what influenced me the most. Young Dro had a weird run with me where I don't know what it was, but it wasn't necessarily his bars because he had the bars and it wasn't his song structure, but I just connected with him for some weird reason. He had when DJ Drama, Day One, and
it's funny. I remember you I remember listening to like G Unit shit with you, and I remember you like feeling that same way about Banks, and I was like,
yeah, like it's a
I
weird.
was like, yo, this dude sounds like he's asleep, bro. Like, how are you fucking with this?
It's a weird thing. I just gravitated towards
Yeah.
whatever he had, and I know my 5 pick is gonna, there's people are like, what? How could you do that? But I'd have to put him there because of the history I have with him.
Mm-hmm.
Just this run he had that I just connected with. But 5, I would say 50. 50.
I know.
hands down.
I can understand that. I can understand that. That I can understand.
Because as you know, G-Unit made me want to rap. And
what's it called? The fuck, what is it? Power of a Dollar, whatever the
yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. Before Get Rich or Die Trying, when you know what I'm saying, and even after 50 Cent is the future, G-Unit is the future. Those mixtapes. What do you have? A fucking 105 mixtapes doing? Like he had some shit on K Slay's tapes.
Just crazy.
That
Honestly,
run
between him getting shot and JMJ getting murdered, rest in peace. He went ape shit, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So 50 influenced me a lot. And even I know now at 42 years old, however the fuck he's, I still have faith he has a couple verses left in him.
You know what? It's not even that I feel like he has verses left in him. It's because in my mind, it's like he was never that dope of like a rapper or a writer. He's a great songwriter. Like I will give him that. Right. Like that guy. He knows he has a formula. He knows how to fucking do it.
And even his what did he sell? 13 million on Get Rich or Die Trying or some shit. His album to follow it up, I can't think of it now.
Massacre?
Yeah, Massacre. I fucked with the Massacre. Like I remember listening to that, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't that hard shit. He got on Ja for singing, and he went and did the same shit.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I fucked with it because of. Even like clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy.
I fucked with
bank.
that.
That was enough for me for the whole album. He's like, please set a milkshake, bring all the boys to the yard. And Nas went and tattooed the bitch on his arm. I was like, yo, that's enough for me. That'll hold me over to the next album. Like 50 came in so hard that I couldn't even.
I remember the one song that I really fucked with. The both of us did when it came out. I almost forgave him for Ghetto Quran for this shit. That my buddy shit, the G-Unit track. My buddy.
That's another thing.
My buddy.
That fucking Beg for Mercy G-Unit album, I listen to that shit to this day. Wherever I go, he go, my buddy. My buddy, you can run for your life. I'ma stick him out the window.
That shit
was so hard to me as a youngster.
Though.
And I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. And he had Every Hood We Go Through, all the gangsters around on my whole crew.
Yeah.
That shit like that, it was like...
When we pop in them
You couldn't even deny that. My first...
Bro, he knows how to write a fucking hit. Like,
hands down, no question.
Man. If I can't do it,
right, so...
Like, dude, I got the magic stick. Like, just nonstop, one after the other.
If I absolutely had to, if you said, Bo, just give me straight up MCs, give me straight up rappers, Drake, to be honest, would bump down on my list. 50 would actually go to number 2. So I'm saying, if we're just talking about MCs and just rap.
Songwriting, I get it. I get you putting them in there.
Him and Hov would even have an argument at the top from my personal standpoint.
Okay.
Because of the influence and the bars. And 50... I don't know.
50's bars can't fuck with Hov.
But the realness behind it. That's what I'm saying. The realness behind it. That's what I say.
Hov can't write a hook.
Hov shit is weird. Like Hov got away with a lot of, like you just said, like Hov got a lot of passes on just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But 50 really did the trick for me on a lot of things. And
also, like 50 really did like. A lot of Hov shit, you know what I mean? Look, everybody has a team, but like a lot of Hov shit, like anyone in the industry knows how much Dame did for him. Also, like, nobody really know. Look, as a ghostwriter myself, nobody really knows how much ghostwriters are involved. Like,
Sure.
Sauce Money was really tight with Jay-Z for a while. Sauce Money is one of the most notorious fucking ghostwriters in the industry. That motherfucker's on Big Pimpin' as an artist. Like, that's not just cause, like, yeah, hey, bro,
Okay.
I want you to get on this song. You know what I mean? The only credit that Sauce Money's biggest credit is on Diddy's track, which, I mean, I'm sure he wrote a fuck ton of Diddy stuff, but the only shit that, like, Diddy's like, all right, I'll give you credit on this shit because I'm scared of going to hell, like, was on that fucking Every Step You Take shit. That was written
I never knew that.
That was written by Sauce Money.
I never knew that.
Where's Sauce Money at? Broke as fuck, fat as fuck, somewhere in New York City. Like,
I never knew that.
Like, it's so sad, man. That guy's a fucking genius. He's a genius writer. So, like, when I see that shit, I really question when I see, like, real notorious ghostwriters. Not that anybody else really knows this shit, but It's like, listen, man, I know how those non-disclosure agreements work. Like, it's like,
Right.
It's tricky.
Do you think that Drake has a ghostwriter?
See, that's a heavy accusation to throw around. Like, I would
That's
not
why
want.
I
I would not want anybody just like throwing that out.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think. I can't look. I don't have like enough evidence to say, yeah, Drake has a ghostwriter. But I will say that, and I'm not talking in terms of like cultural reappropriation or whatever.
Right.
I will say that, like, he is not. It's bothersome to me that he's not being his authentic self. That's the best way to put it.
I think he is, but he dabbles, like I said, in that entertainment bullshit. And
you think in any conversation with him, he'd even have a slight Jamaican accent for a second?
I was watching the beginning, the intro to Tory Lanez. Who are you to tell the man if it's a ting or not? You know what I mean? I was watching the intro to Tory Lanez Say It video, and he was speaking like that. Like, that's actually what he said. He was like, "Oh, we were at the party, it was lit," and I'm like, "Bro, you don't speak like that. Like, you sound as ridiculous as I would doing that shit." And you guys can go listen to it for yourself. He actually, like, these are his words. Like, I wouldn't speak like that. He was like, "Oh, Blow Ting was lit." And I'm like, "Bro, you sound so fucking ridiculous right now. I get you have a little bit of Jamaica influence in Toronto, but don't do that. Like, that'd be like me doing it. We're right here. I'm sure it's I'm like, don't do that." So I think he's living his truth to an extent. And that, to jump back to the Drake and Meek shit, I think that's why he had to kill Meek. And it was a certain, he was throwing a lot of jabs on this latest album of whatever this shit is called. I can't think of it right now. But
you think he
more
bodied,
life.
You think he bodied him?
Yeah, I think. I think, like, he is the song "Did I Lose You?" I think it's called.
Right.
He fucking killed him. Like, he was talking about, like, you say you do shit for more motivational purposes only. All you do is show garbage ass rollies saying that you just got to show me. And he was like, but I know bullshit when I see it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was so personal because Meek accused him of the cardinal sin in rap. The cardinal sin in rap is that you're not really living your raps. So when he did that, and like I said, it fucking got me. I'm like, hold on, is this true? Like, I was like, if this is true, like, I feel like so lied to. Like, I felt like,
no, of course,
you know what I mean? Like,
now Santa Claus isn't real. And
it was worse because I saw Santa Claus wasn't real. Like, no one blindsided with me. I heard my parents wrapping gifts at fucking midnight because I was up. Sure. With Drake shit, it was like being hit by a bus. I'm like, yo, I thought we was cool. Like, I thought you were speaking for me. It was actually like it literally like made me like, no, this can't be true. So I say,
never
like,
trust a goddamn Canadian again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I will never talk to another Canadian again. I won't say Jews because I like
I thought we were the same.
Yeah, like, I thought we was cool, bro. You fucking lied to me, bro. But so that's why I say he had to.
The wall on the wrong side.
I'm trying to tell. Yeah, word. Put the fucking wall in the north. I'll definitely contract that out. I'll help. I'll go to Home Depot and scoop up some fucking laborers my damn self.
Oh my God.
But I felt like he had to kill him because, you know, Meek, and I that's another thing. When we talk about top 10s, there's an argument for Meek with me. You know what I mean? Those 6 through 8 slots, 6 through 9 slots get pretty tough. But there's an argument. If I really sat down, and I'm actually going to do that after this episode when we do our part 2. Part 2, I'm going to have a definitive.
Okay.
I'm going to have a definitive top 10. We're going to have a strictly hip-hop episode, strictly rap episode. And I want to get into that. But there's an argument for Meek in there because I feel like he does speak for the real. And Meek shit is a little more grimy than what I've lived. Sure. But that's why I respect it because, you know, you being around whoever you're around, that you know that shit is really out there. And I know that goddamn rollie that he talks about in every song really means a lot to him. Like it's that hood trophy of I've made it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So... There's an argument for him. So when it happened, and Drake came out with I forget what the first one was. I forget what but I heard it and I was like, all right, Drake, that's a good jab. And when Back to Back came out, I was like, oh, it's on, Meek. I'm like, this motherfucker went pop.
Yeah.
And he definitely would have signed, sealed, and delivered Meek in a grave if he won that Grammy. This motherfucker had a diss track that was nominated for a Grammy. Like, that is so crazy to me. And I know that it was nominated for a Grammy. And I have my shit with the Grammy, but that's another argument. But it was nominated for a Grammy because they know, like, Drake's not really a threat. No one's going to die over this shit. But that's what got me that I'm like, yo, do you know what this means? Like, imagine Ether won a Grammy. That would have changed things. Like, that trophy for what... You can have I have my, you know, slights with the Grammys, but that accolade is like, whoa. Like, you know, when Hov says 21 Grammys, I'm a savage, nigga. If every time you mention Grammys, you remember Ether won a Grammy, his point is no longer valid.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So if Drake would have won the Grammy for that, it would have been definitely game over. But, you know, Meek... I think that it had to happen that way. And I was, you know, I listened to Hot 97 interviews and whoever, and they're like, oh, Drake, leave it alone. And I'm like, no, this was the fucking high school bully that tried to, you know, stuff Drake in a locker. And he's getting exactly what he has coming to him. So I think... I
remember what you did to me when I was in a wheelchair.
Basically... and another thing I want to clarify, I didn't know Degrassi Drake. Like, I found that out, like, you know, when everyone else found it out, and I was like, oh.
Not only Degrassi Drake, like, what was the other film I seen him in? Like, Charlie Bartlett, like a bunch of shit.
I promise, I'm going to give you the truth here. I never looked because I didn't want the truth. Like when I feel I swear, then that's the God's honest truth.
No, that's like, that's how I feel about Rick Ross. It's like, no, I'm not even gonna look up your background, bro. I don't rather see a picture of you in uniform. Like,
I think there was one, Officer Ricky. See, 50 had that, Officer Ricky. And that's another thing. See, this is why we got to do the definitive. I know this is a little jumbled all over the place, but we're doing what we're doing, people. But we got to have the definitive hip-hop episode because I feel like I give Rick Ross a lot of credit because he survived 50. 50 Rick Ross was the only one. Like, when I was like, oh, shit. I remember when Officer Ricky came out, I was like, oh, Rick Ross done fucked up. Have a good one. Nice knowing you. And he came back with that Mafia music. I was like, you know, don't forget, burn the house down. Don't forget, now you gotta buy another. Don't forget the gas can, jealous, stupid motherfucker. Like, when he said that, I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, no one has ever hit back.
That was proof, though. That was proof of the death of street credibility. Literally. Where it's like, I could say what I want. I don't have to back shit up. As long as this shit sounds fly, I don't have to back shit up.
There's a point
I could come in this motherfucker as a D-Tech and fucking and say this shit, and you're gonna do your thing.
Okay, there's a point to that, but I remember at the time being like, oh shit, he hit back. You know, because Ja Rule, he arguably ruined his career.
I mean, yeah.
You know,
without a doubt.
Who else? Fat Joe, I got 100 guns, 100 clips.
He didn't
he didn't ruin their career, but he grabbed all three of them by the collar at the same time and was like, look, motherfuckers, shape up.
Jada holds his own.
Jada, you know, also I want to get into Jada's, I forget the title because it's so long ago at this point. You we won't win because you don't feel comfortable on your own skin. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the king of New York. You live in Connecticut. Whatever song that was, you rad ass nigga. You was an animal. You was a motherfucking animal.
Yeah.
Whatever that was, I was like, oh shit, 50, you're in trouble, man. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just got brushed over. You know what I'm saying? Because it was Jada and it was 50 at the time.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, it's just like the Common diss to Drake.
Yo, bro.
I don't even.
No, don't fucking compare.
Yo, I don't
believe
even
you just did that.
I don't fuck with Common like that. But I'm sorry.
Common sense.
I don't fuck with Common like that. But he bodied Drake. Bodied. No, like there's no even. It's not even like an opinion thing. He bodied
When you said
him.
you Canada dry, is that what you're talking about?
You ain't wet nobody. You Canada dry. Stop it.
I didn't see. I remember it. But I didn't feel like he did because I don't remember it, and I remember it like you guys hear. I can rattle off the quotes because I remember the song. Like you know, what I'm saying that shit. That's the only thing I remember is Canada Dry, and I remember being like, "Oh, good one, Common. Have a good life." Like,
no, it was that, and like he got out on him with some shit. Like
I gotta listen to it.
Paraphrasing, I'm not racist for saying this, but like you so black and white trying to live a nigga's life, like just nonstop. It was one after the other.
I gotta listen to it again, and I gotta relive it. I gotta hear it because I just don't remember it. So I don't want to give my opinion on it, but I remember it doesn't ring a bell with me. So I wouldn't say he.
Of course, it's Common, bro. It's just like
I think that's what it was. It was like, bro, I get you from Chicago and all that, but like, get out of here.
Yeah, Baba, you're right. Yeah, I used to love her. I used to love your music.
That's where I was with it. So that's why
that's where it's like
I don't want to give an opinion about it.
We get it. You're a poet and an activist.
Yeah, exactly. Like you was outside of some bitch's window holding up "I love you" signs. Like I don't want to hear anything from you.
Just keep holding up your boombox, bro.
Exactly. So
no, I feel you on that. But he bodied him.
I gotta listen. I'll give my opinion in part 2.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that. But yeah, well.
So definitively, who's 5?
Well, I say 50. Like,
okay, right,
or
50. Right.
If I had to mix them around, that's why I say it gets tricky. If I had to mix them around, I say 54. Like overall, like with pop and all that other bullshit included, because I like Biscuit in My Car. Like I like those 50 shit, those 50 songs that he did.
No, for sure.
And I give money I got. Like I feel like that was a little bit looked over. It had a run. Don't get me wrong. It had a run.
But the Forbes 1, 2, 3, the remix with Diddy and everybody, like that
I didn't fuck with the remix. Like,
I didn't fuck with the remix, but it did better than the original.
Right, no, it did because of the star power on it at the time. But like so I'd say like 54 and or however we want to mix that up.
I got
also,
that makes sense. That's crazy.
It was something I was just going to say about Rick Ross. Like, in another life, I would put Rick Ross in my top 5. Like, if I had to take Young Joe out, Rick Ross goes in.
If I had to go into witness protection, Rick Ross.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I have every album. Not his first album, Port of Miami, whatever it was.
Look, I just feel like it's so, especially him being like from Florida and everything. It's like, look, he came after a wave of like a handful of like real BMF dudes. You know what I mean?
True.
And then he comes out with I think I'm Big Meech. Yo, bro, kill yourself. Like, are you for real right now? Yo, stop. Come on.
I think, see that, which I forget. I mixed up 2 of them. Like, is that the one with Styles P? And then I mentioned Gun from Red Dead Redemption, 9mm 50 clip extension.
No, I don't think so. That's I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover.
See, I mixed
money.
Hallelujah. Right. I mixed up 2.
But
a lot of guys from the South, their influence is Gucci. And I'm like, I like a handful of Gucci songs.
And before that, it was like Juvenile. And I'm like,
that's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
I'm sorry.
The best run out of the South with me that I can name was Wayne, that I can relate to. And I fuck with Pimp C. Pimp C is definitely up there, but I didn't have he was too on that pimp shit for me. Sometimes I just didn't understand his lingo. Maybe if I was from Texas or wherever he's from, I would have got some of his lingo, but a lot of shit went over my head. And by the time I went back and re-listened, I already had my mind set about a lot of shit, so it was too late. But I like Ross came in at a time where like Trick Daddy's from Miami, but who the fuck knows Trick Daddy songs? But I don't know if you do, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I fuck with Trick Daddy for a minute. Like he's on some real shit. I think his dad owns the biggest strip club down there, or this part owner in that Diamonds joint.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his pops is part owner in that Diamonds joint, which apparently like Rick Ross fucking blew $1 million in one night there.
Him and Diddy, right?
I think maybe, yeah, but I heard like him single-handedly blew over $1 billion, which is like, bro.
That's another thing I want to talk about in the hip hop community.
The bands, the fucking like
stop.
Yo.
All right. And I know the strippers are like, hold on, goddamn, what are you doing? But
yeah,
that shit does not prove you can't. You could fool the losers.
No, it proves that you're a fucking sucker. Like no matter what.
Right. Exactly.
No matter what, like it's like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna sound like a fucking chauvinist and sexist, and I am a little bit, but
you are.
Like, yeah. No matter what, pussy's expensive. But like,
That's
what do you like for what? Like, you're just proving you're a sucker. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not even interested in fucking throwing change at these bitches. Like,
I've been to a strip club. I've been to a strip club twice. I went once with my uncle when I think I just turned 18. He took me like a week after my birthday. That I went on his dollar, so it was like, all right, your uncle's showing you a good time, whatever, you behave. And my uncle's not that kind of guy that I feel like I have to, I've never been one to not be myself. But I was just like, I was on his dollar, so I was like, all right, we'll see some naked bitches and move on. Then I went by myself when I was a little older, and I was like, oh shit, it's on. I went and got like
VIP room.
I did. I went the whole shebang. And it's a little bit of a backstory with it. I went, obviously, as you guys expect at this point. Let me put my Reese's down for this one. I went in, I had my CLS at the time, so I had a Mercedes. I'm wearing fucking 3-4 gold chains. And I walk in. I had your bracelet. For the record, Harrison Forbes gave me a gold bracelet very young during that time when I didn't even realize the value of this shit. I didn't even realize what it was. You know what I'm saying? Fucking 50 grams of gold before I knew. Like I didn't even know it.
Hell yeah.
Didn't even make it. That's one of my most prized possessions, for the record. So I had that on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like money definitely when I walk in.
For sure.
And at this place, you can see the parking lot through the glass. I think they do it on purpose. You can see the big ballers pulling up and whatever they pull in. So I pull in a big CLS with two of my friends, pull in, boom. It was actually early because I'm inexperienced at this time. So I got to the fucking strip club at like 9:30 when nobody's there. You know what I'm saying? So I walk in. It's just, no, I'm not even kidding. Like it was like bouncer, bartender,
like we're gonna get good seats, guys.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the real shit. So I walk in. The three of us, they patted down. First of all, I had a knife on me. They took my knife.
Oh,
I know. It was a nice one, too, but they took it. So I get in. I'm fucking around. Order some drinks. They had a machine. It was the first time I seen the button that actually poured out however many ounces, like 4 ounces in the fucking drink. And I'm like, can I get a double? And she's like, no, I can't. You have to pay for it. It has to ring up in the register for me to be able to hit this button and hit another one. And I was like, oh, strip clubs or not. Like it was already strike one. And I was like, oh shit, you can't even get drunk in here. Like how else am I going to throw some money if you don't get me fucking drunk enough? Are you serious? So
yeah,
we're in the strip club. I'm like, all right, I get 200 singles. That shit went so fast. Like making it rain and all that shit looks good. Well, I mean, it feels good in the moment, I guess. It doesn't, see, when you think it's cool, like I didn't know any better then, but when you think it's cool, it's like, yeah, look at all this money I'm wasting. You know what I'm saying? So then go and get another 200 singles. At this point, I'm throwing like 5. I'm throwing like 5.
Right.
5 singles. Which is a lot. Like it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it adds up and it's just like,
of
what
course.
What are you getting?
Make a long story short. So at this point we're in the strip club like for like 3 hours at this point. So it's like close to midnight. The lights are off. And, the lights went down slowly, like as the night came into what it was. I'm in the VIP room fucking around. I come back out. Blink up, we're back with my boys, and we're looking around, and it's just goons. It's just all around. And I'm like, I look around, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, wait a minute. We're the only dickheads in here throwing money, I'm like, and that's when the fucking light bulb went off, like, oh, wait, we're the suckers. Like, oh, no one actually does this shit. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. And it was actually to a point, like, when I knew
it's literally like, oh, this is why all the clubs and strip clubs literally have these guys on repeat, saturating the market with this shit because they single-handedly keep them in business. Like, it's a pretty good, like, wink, wink, they got fucking worked out there.
110%. Like, at some point, I'll say probably I spent like $500, $600. Just in singles. Like I think I put the drinks on my card, like opened up a tab. So it was a very, very expensive night. And at this point I was working, so I could tell you like I blew a whole 2 weeks paycheck on nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it was to the point where like the stripper she was giving me a lap dance and she was like sizing up my pockets. Like I felt it. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? But I didn't, and I've always been outspoken, but I knew I was out of place and there was a lot of shit going on and I don't know who knows who in the, it was a shady shit going on in the strip club. And I didn't want to get too crazy and be like, bitch, get your fucking hands out of my, you know what I mean? But so I played it cool. Like, hold on, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. That's crazy. So I got out of there and it was at that, like driving home, I'm like, man, strip clubs are for suckers. Like, so we have to be to the point where going to throw 10 bands at a stripper, that shit doesn't make you cool. Like, you know what you could do with $10,000? And I'm not saying go feed the children in Africa. If that ain't your thing, don't do it. But like, it's way more productive shit we need to do. Not but it's way more productive things you should do other than throwing money at strippers. Like, if you want to go for a good time, have some drinks, see some ass, tip the strippers, fine. But this bands thing, that shit is way out of control.
It's so, like, literally, it's like you literally do anything else. I'm sorry. You can buy a round trip flight and every underage girl in Cambodia with that. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
No, it's true. And I'm like, look, man, for what's happening on social media, you can go see some ass right on Instagram for free in your living room. You can sync your fucking Apple TV. Have it on your your 65-inch flat screen. Trust me, it's the same thing. like, I don't even go to football games anymore because
bro, it's cheaper to call over a fucking escort if it's like that.
At that point, you might as well. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
with the strip club thing. Maybe
it is. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is. It's like I have no patience. Honestly, I'm like skeeved out by it. On my 21st birthday, I went to a fucking strip club. Actually, I'm gonna shout it out. Larry Flint's strip club on fucking 51st and 11th.
Shout out to Larry Flint.
Shout out to Larry Flint in the wheelchair.
Wait, he's in a wheelchair?
Yeah, man. He got shot for doing interracial porn.
Get the fuck out of here. Who shot him? Is he black?
No,
he's white.
Yeah, he's white. He's the owner hustler. Some redneck. Because he had interracial porn in his fucking magazine.
Wow.
Pioneer, man. This is a revolution. Yeah. He's our generation's Che Guevara.
Oh my God. No, he's our generation's Drake. He's Jimmy if he's in a wheelchair. No, in all seriousness, shout out to that strip club.
Shout out to Larry Flint, but fuck his strip club. Because I went to the Hustler strip club for my 21st birthday with my girlfriend at the time, mind you. And a couple other people. She's down. Like, I'm never down with girls that aren't down with girls. Sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's so foolish. So we go and I get fucking drugged. We got a bottle, like a table and a bottle. They brought the bottle already open. I was like a little suspect, but they were like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, let us pour you drinks, whatever. Yo, not even done with my first drink. I was literally like on the fucking moon, bro. Like,
Wow.
couldn't. And so I don't know how I got home, but I got home with my phone and wallet and jewelry intact.
That's
One of the kids we were with got robbed of everything: his chain, his phone, his wallet, everything.
wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Like, yo,
Don't go to Larry. Yeah. No,
Shout out to Larry for promoting interracial porn, though.
Dude, that's fucked up. That's crazy. See,
Yeah.
that's what. There's a lot of shit that happens.
There's definitely some, like, yeah. I mean, you know what? It's like, it's just always like some grimy.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say we were gonna get robbed of some shit, but I know at a certain point they were looking at us either like they're gonna give all their money. Oh, by the way, I went to the ATM. Like, my second round of singles, I went to the ATM, paid the fucking like $18 ATM fee or some astronomical number ATM fee, and went to get more singles.
Jeez.
Which, you get 200 singles, they probably give you like 194. I don't know how that goes.
Right.
That's another story. That's what I'm saying. Like, everything about a strip club is fucked up to me. So,
it's a total scam.
So, and I'm not gonna say we're gonna get robbed, but like when I say goons, that the night's going, and I looked up and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look around and I'm like, wait a minute, we're the only ones with money on the floor. Like, it was really like a moment where I'm like, oh, this isn't good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I was really, and I'm not a scary guy. Like, I'll be all right wherever I go. I was really looking around like, oh shit. Like, everyone's like it was just men on the walls, like just lined the fuck up.
Yeah.
Along the walls, not talking to any women, not looking at any strippers. It was all this ass around, and I look up and everyone's looking at us. And I was like, oh, that's not good. Like,
yeah. Like, it's time to get the fuck out of here.
And we did. I lost my knife, which,
That's whack.
that was like I think losing the money was one thing, and waking up the next morning, like, I woke up the next morning, I stared at the ceiling, and I was like, wait, was that real? And I wasn't even that drunk leaving, and that's what got me. Like, I wasn't wasted. I probably shouldn't have drove, but I wasn't like,
right.
Like, if I got pulled over, who knows? But that's nor here nor there. Knock on wood. But I woke up the next morning like, oh, that wasn't even a good time. Like, I woke up the next morning like, I don't even have a headache. Like, that shit wasn't even worth it. And I look at, I pulled out the ATM receipt, and I was like, 18. I was like, what the fuck? It was like $16 or $18, and I was like, what the fuck? I paid $18 to take out money to give it back, and everything about that shit was wrong. And that was the last time I've ever went to a strip club.
Yeah. See, I went to a strip club once after I got fucking drugged on my 21st birthday. So, all right. Well, the first time I went, I was like fucking 18. It was in Florida, and it was like in Daytona or some shit. When I say like white trash, that shit is an understatement, bro. That shit was hilarious. Like, sheer entertainment value, priceless. Like, just not, you know what I mean? I didn't even feel like a sucker, because it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, whether it's your pregnant belly or your double chin, like it's just fucking
whatever it is.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, you know what I mean? A ticket to the circus is more expensive, so so no, that was cool. And then obviously my 21st birthday fucking sucked. And then the last time I went was actually when I was living out in LA, and I was living with my girlfriend at the time. And if she hears this, that sucks. But but anyway,
hey, listen, now I want all my guests to reveal some shit they've never said, and there you go, they haven't.
Right. So I go out to this fucking strip club, like in the valley, with like a couple of my boys, and dude, just like a different breed of women. Like, it's like Suicide Girls mixed with like Beverly Hill Blondes. It's just some weird like I don't even know, like some like lizard looking fucking like just crazy shit. But anyway, so one of my friends bought me like 2 lap dances or whatever, and of course, like, I get this like just I mean, this bitch was the fakest. Like everything. I'm talking about like cheek implants, fucking lip implants, fake tits, like
fucking Jaja Gabor or whatever.
Yeah, is ridiculous. So anyway, I get like, 2 lap dances, whatever. We hang out a little bit more and fucking dip. And I go home and and the next morning, my girlfriend at the time was like gathering up the laundry, and the night before I had like these light colored jeans on, and this bitch's fake tanner got all over them. I'm talking about just like rust colored fucking, just like it looks like I shit all over the front of my pants. Damn. So she like grabs up the laundry off the floor, because of course I just leave the shit on the floor. I couldn't just do the laundry.
Why would you do that, man? Right. Why cover your tracks?
Right. I'm a man. So not that she really did laundry, but anyway, she like just grabbed it to fucking throw it in the hamper and was like, what the fuck did you, like, what did you get all over your jeans? And so I had to do that thing like where I make the like split second decision of like, am I committing to this lie or am I just like, and of course I decided to commit to the lie, and I was like,
naturally,
what the fuck?
I've never seen that before in my life.
And I literally must have had like a half-hour conversation with her of all the things it could have possibly been.
That's amazing.
Like, what the fuck? How did that get there?
You think it was pigeons?
And I'm like blaming her. Like, what did you fucking throw in the lawn? Like, what did you throw on the floor? But yeah, I mean, if she hears this now, that's fucking fake Tanner from a fucking stripper in the valley.
Damn.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yep. But that, needless to say, that was the last time I went to a strip club. That was just like a negative experience. All those stains didn't even come out. It wasn't worth losing the pair of jeans,
True. Like it wasn't worth losing my knife. I'm like, that was a nice knife. You know what I'm saying? It had like it was just some weird, one of those curves, and it was just a nice.
I get it, man.
Little pocket piece to have. And I left out the next, like I said, I woke up the next morning like, that was awful, awful, awful. And I was like, I didn't even, like the women, they were all right. But it wasn't necessarily them, but it was just the overall experience of it. I'm like, man, that was a shit show. And it was like, and that's when I realized like only suckers go and throw money. Like, and at the time I was a sucker because I thought it was cool. I'm like, all right, I'm in here.
I've been there, yeah.
Wasting my cash. Like, look, guys, look, I'm cool. Here, look, I'm throwing money. No. Oh, you guys are not? All right. Well, I am. Here you go again.
Yeah. I'm the man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think the jig is up with strip clubs, and sure, there's always going to be some young kids that go and do the same shit. But at this point,
always going to be some old men that go and do the same shit.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? It's dudes. Like, bro, Napoleon syndrome doesn't fucking discriminate based on age.
True.
Or anything else for that matter.
I don't think I'll ever have any reason to go into a strip club, but if I ever do, a stripper could probably get like $18 from me. Like I don't even know if I'd spend the whole 20, but I'd probably throw like 18 probably like 13 singles. I'll go have some drinks. Like if for whatever reason I have
I'd throw like 18. I'd throw like 18 to her in quarters.
Hey, listen, you probably
Actually, I'd give her the whole 10, the whole 20, just the whole 10 rolls. Yeah, 2 10 rolls, just fucking straight. Like, here's a roll of quarters.
Knock yourself out.
Knock her out.
I do want to. I'm a little bit afraid of Vegas, but I want to go in. If I if I was with my wife or whatever else, or whoever I go to Vegas with, I may end up in a Vegas strip club, or Miami. I want to, just for the atmosphere. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I'd probably be in there for like a half an hour, maybe. I don't know. Like, I just want to, because I went to a shitty New York
I get it.
club.
I mean, I've never been to a Vegas strip club. I mean, I'm sure it's the same shit. I'm sure the women are a little bit hotter, more fake. But I mean, everywhere you go in Vegas, there's hookers. Even the women you don't think are hookers are hookers. Like literally, like nice dressed fucking women in like turtlenecks, like fucking looking like librarians and shit. They'll spark up conversation, and then they're like, "So,
where you staying?"
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
yeah,
what, you bitch?
That's why I say that's why I'm afraid of Vegas, because I like poker, so I'm a gambler a little bit.
Okay,
I've curbed myself a little bit because I'm like, like it's the same thing. Like now I'm like, I can play in fucking. There's an app for it. I play it for free. I don't lose any money, and I go home
right,
and without a guilty conscience. You know what I'm saying? So it's that same thing. Like I want to go, but I feel like I'd end up in a fucking poker tournament. Like I feel like with the right, if they caught me at the right moment and they were like, hey, there's a $3,000 poker tournament, I'm like, done. You know what I'm saying? Like that fast, and that's the only reason I'm afraid of it.
That's great. See, for me, it's like that's the only thing that doesn't spark my interest is like the gambling. Like my whole thing is like, look, bro, I will spend money. Like I'm not fucking great at budgeting, and I'm not even really like concerned with it. I fucking spend money, but like there's few things I hate more than feeling like a sucker, like feeling like I got taken. You know what I mean? It's like, if you think I'm just going to throw down the money I earned, like, and leave it to the house, like, yo.
True.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it, where it's like, nah, come on.
Yeah, I don't believe in blackjack or any other shit, but I do.
The odds are best with blackjack over any other game.
I don't.
Statistically.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I don't know the game enough. Maybe if I studied it, I could. But with poker, I know I'm playing other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm better with. You know what I mean? Like a professional dealer, the cards are going to be the cards. I guess, they say like it's statistically better to win money, whatever. But with poker, I know my cards. I know the probability. I know the percentage of that. And I know I have a chance. So with that shit, I don't know. Like...
Right, you have a better idea.
Yeah. So you're saying like there's a chance, right? If I go in with
it's more of a calculated risk, you feel,
for what that's worth.
Right.
Bottom line,
it's gambling either way. I mean, yo, that's the crazy shit. The fucking controversy with all like the DraftKings and all that shit, where they say like the whole reason they're legal is that they say it's not gambling. It's all a game of skill. You know.
True. I was listening to that argument, and
what's your opinion?
They're full of shit.
Yeah, it's gambling. It's fucking flat out gambling. Shit is crazy.
That's fucking gambling.
But literally the NFL, CBS, NBC, all those companies.
Golf. I saw a fucking
all those
commercial.
Companies have a piece of it.
Yeah.
So they fucking gave everybody stock options. Like, look, man, this is a game of skill, right?
No, like, look, these fucking idiots will throw their money thinking they have a chance. It's 2007, not 70, it came out before that, but it's like a modern lottery. Like, all right, the lottery jig is up. People know you give them this with their favorite players and they can be invested in
the lottery is more enticing than that. You know what I mean? Because the lottery is at least a lot like they don't give you the flat out odds. Like you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning and bitten by a shark in the dick, like in a landlocked state. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking. And at least they have a fucking like, you know, I mean, at least the New York lottery has a catchy, like, you know, they have good advertising. DraftKings is just like, you can, like, it's just so.
With DraftKings, I did it a couple of times, like $2 in free tournaments, because I do fantasy football. So, you know, it's thrown in my face so much, you give in. But I did one for $20. I won $2. Like I won not 22. Like I won back $2. So I lost 18. I was like, this shit is no. I was like, you guys are not gonna fucking pull me into this shit again. That was like 2 years ago. That's the last time I ever did it. And that's when I realized like, oh, this shit is the lottery. Like, okay, so it's
at least the lottery is a little more straightforward. Literally,
sure.
The New York lottery's fucking slogan is, "Hey, you never
know, right?" Exactly.
Okay. At least it's not misleading. It's just
true.
Cool.
Fucking.
That's an honest fucking slogan.
DraftKings is like, yo, you look at Brad from Pittsburgh. He won $750,000
because of how smart he is.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, okay.
Like, then you fucking pick these guys. Like I got one guy leaving out with an ankle injury first quarter, and I'm like, well, there goes my $20. You know what I'm saying? So, at this point, I don't like the variables.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the market they're catering to, and it's huge.
I would
and I'm
almost
sure
rather go
they're
to a strip
fucking-
club, and I just told you guys how I feel about strip clubs. So.
I would flat out rather go to a strip club. At least I'm getting, I'm getting something for my money.
At least I know I'm getting like
it's
being
more
swindled.
straightforward. Yeah, exactly.
Like
Getting robbed.
You know, the jig is up.
Yeah.
But all right, beautiful people, we're gonna end this here. As I always say, fuck what your horoscope says. All right.
Astronomy's bullshit. Just so you know.
Be true to yourself.
So is religion.
But that's another. That's a talk for part two.
I'm kidding.
No, he's not. He's not kidding. He's fucking dead serious.
I'm not kidding. God is dead.
If you're take your slander to That's Harrison on Twitter and Instagram. I try to keep all your slander to Twitter. Like, don't write under people's pictures. Like, that's annoying. Just like the shit and keep it moving.
Nah, you can do that, you miserable fucks. You can hate on that shit. Go ahead.
I just recently, I made my my Facebook page. I made a fan page. I thought that was cool
for the podcast.
My podcast is more for me, so it's not for the podcast. It's the King Bo Christ.
Okay.
Facebook
I
page.
fucks with it.
So go like that. You have a Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
Go like I don't know if you want to plug it. You want to plug it?
I'm trying to remember what the fuck I don't. It's not because you don't have a handle.
We'll put it in the description. I set up a handle for it at King Bo Christ.
Oh,
so
then like mine is probably at That's Harrison then.
So you'll find it. I'll put it in the description when we drop this episode. It'll be under there.
Dope.
But stay true to yourself.
And don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. And don't talk back to the police. That's a terrible idea. I'm out.
Later.
That was a solid fucking episode, man.
Yo, that was we
have like 4 hours worth of good shit. And we didn't even get any topic I wanted to talk about in the notes, but I like how we just freestyled it.
Yeah. I mean, we just fucking spitballed that whole shit.
That was awesome.
Cool.
I feel like you should just co-host the shit. You know, I think
I'm more than down to fucking do this shit. Like this shit is fun. It's literally just like.